In a quiet corner of the world, nestled amongst rolling green hills, stood the convent of the sacred song. Inside, life moved at a gentle pace, filled with prayer, chores, and quiet contemplation. Here lived Sister Mary, an old nun with kind eyes and a warm smile. She loved her life at the convent, the peace and purpose it gave her. But Sister Mary held a secret love, a passion that had been dormant for many years. Music, more specifically the piano. Tucked away in the convent's dusty music room was an old, slightly out-of-tune piano. It sat silently, a relic of a time when music filled the convent's halls. Sister Mary would often steal away to the music room, running her fingers over the yellowed keys, remembering the joy it used to bring her. She dreamed of playing again, of filling the convent with beautiful melodies. But she knew it was a silly dream. She was an old woman now, a nun dedicated to her faith. Pianos and concert halls were a lifetime away. Still, the music in her heart yearned to be released. She kept her secret, a quiet melody playing only in her soul. But Sister Mary hadn't always been a nun. Once, she was simply Mary, a bright, energetic girl with a gift for music. Even as a toddler, she would bang on pots and pans, creating her own little symphonies. Her parents quickly realized her talent and enrolled her in piano lessons. Mary blossomed. Her small fingers danced across the keys with incredible speed and precision. She practiced for hours, losing herself in the world of Bach, Beethoven, and Mozart. Soon, she was winning competitions, dazzling audiences with her virtuosity. People whispered that she was a prodigy, a musical genius destined for greatness. Mary dreamed of concert halls, of standing on grand stages bathed in light, sharing her music with the world. She imagined the thunderous applause, the standing ovations, the sheer joy of connecting with people through her art. Her life was music, and music was her life. She pictured a future filled with recitals, recordings, and the constant pursuit of musical perfection. The world was her stage, and she was ready to take it by storm. But life, as it often does, had other plans. During a summer volunteering at a local soup kitchen, Mary met people struggling with poverty and illness. She saw firsthand the pain and suffering in the world, and it deeply affected her. Music, which once seemed so important, suddenly felt insufficient. She began to question her path. Could she truly dedicate her life to something so seemingly self-serving when there was so much need in the world? The applause and accolades began to ring hollow. The thought of performing for wealthy patrons while others went hungry filled her with unease. One day, while visiting a church, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace and purpose. She realized that her true calling was not on a stage, but in service to others. She wanted to make a real difference in the world, to ease suffering and bring comfort to those in need. It was a difficult decision, a wrenching choice between her passion and her purpose. But in the end, Mary chose the path of service. She traded her concert gowns for a simple habit, her piano for prayer beads, and her dreams of stardom for a life dedicated to God. She entered the convent of the sacred song, leaving her old life and her music behind. Or so she thought. Years turned into decades. Sister Mary embraced her new life, finding fulfillment in prayer, service, and the simple routines of the convent. She taught children, cared for the sick, and helped run the convent's small farm. The music room became a distant memory, the piano gathering dust in the corner. Occasionally, she would allow herself a few moments at the keyboard, gently playing a familiar hymn. But it was never the same. Her fingers felt stiff, her technique rusty. The passion was still there, flickering like a dying ember, but the years of disuse had taken their toll. She hadn't played a complete piece, a real concert-worthy piece, in nearly 50 years. The other sisters knew about her past, of course. They remembered the newspaper clippings displayed in the convent's archives, faded photographs of a young Mary accepting awards and performing on stage. They sometimes encouraged her to play for them, but Sister Mary always politely declined. She was content with her life, or so she told herself. The past was the past. Every year, the convent of the sacred song held a talent show, a light-hearted evening of entertainment put on by the sisters themselves. It was a chance to laugh, to celebrate their community, and to showcase their hidden talents. Usually, it involved simple acts, singing, reciting poems, perhaps a bit of folk dancing. But this year, Sister Mary felt a stirring within her, a desire to share her long-dormant gift. Gathering her courage, Sister Mary approached Mother Superior, a kind but practical woman with a watchful eye. "Mother Superior," she began, her voice slightly trembling, "I was wondering if I might participate in the talent show this year." Mother Superior raised an eyebrow, a flicker of surprise in her gaze. "Sister Mary," she said gently, "that's a lovely thought, but are you sure? It's been so long since you've played. We wouldn't want you to be disappointed." Sister Mary hesitated. "I know it's been a while," she admitted, "but I've been practicing a little, just some simple hymns. I thought it might be nice to share some music." Mother Superior looked doubtful. "Well," she said slowly, "I appreciate your willingness to participate, but perhaps something a little less demanding? Sister Agnes is preparing a beautiful reading of poetry, and Sister Teresa has a lovely singing voice." She paused, searching for the right words. "The piano, it's a rather grand instrument, and the one in the music room is, well, not exactly in its prime." The Mother Superior worried that Sister Mary wouldn't be able to play well after so long and would feel embarrassed. Sister Mary's heart sank a little. She had hoped for a more enthusiastic response, but she understood Mother Superior's concerns. It had been a very long time. "Mother Superior," Sister Mary persisted, her voice gaining strength, "music is still a part of me. It's a way for me to connect with God, to express my gratitude for all that I have. It's not about showing off or trying to recapture the past. It's simply about sharing something beautiful." Just then, several other sisters entered the room, drawn by the conversation. They had overheard the exchange and were eager to voice their support. "Oh, Mother Superior, please let her play!" exclaimed Sister Agnes, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "We all know how talented Sister Mary is. It would be such a treat to hear her play again." "Yes, Mother," added Sister Teresa. "It's been far too long since we've heard music in this convent. It would lift our spirits." The other sisters chimed in, adding their voices to the chorus of support. Mother Superior looked around at the hopeful faces, a smile slowly spreading across her own. She had always valued the opinions of her sisters, and it was clear that they all wanted Sister Mary to play. She sighed, a hint of resignation in her voice. "Very well," she said finally. "You may play, Sister Mary. But please," she added with a twinkle in her eye, "keep it simple. No flashy concert pieces." "Understood." Sister Mary's heart leaped with joy. "Of course, Mother Superior," she replied, her eyes shining. "I promise to keep it simple." With Mother Superior's permission secured, Sister Mary began to prepare for the talent show in earnest. She spent hours in the music room, dusting off the old piano and carefully tuning it as best she could. The keys were yellowed and some were sticking, but she didn't mind. It was enough to be able to play again. She practiced every day, her fingers slowly regaining their dexterity. She chose a familiar hymn, a beautiful melody that she had played countless times as a child. It was simple, elegant, and deeply meaningful to her. As the days passed, the convent buzzed with anticipation. The sisters were excited to hear Sister Mary play, and they offered her words of encouragement and support. Even Mother Superior seemed to be looking forward to the performance, though she still cautioned Sister Mary to keep it respectful. Sister Mary knew she had a lot to live up to. She wasn't the young prodigy she once was, but she had something more valuable now. A lifetime of experience, a deep faith, and a desire to share her gift with the world, or at least with the small world of the convent of the Sacred Song. The talent show was fast approaching, and Sister Mary was ready. The day of the talent show arrived, filled with a mixture of excitement and nervous anticipation. The convent's main hall had been transformed into a makeshift theater, decorated with colorful streamers and handmade posters. The air buzzed with chatter as the sisters gathered, dressed in their best habits and eager to see what the evening had in store. Backstage, Sister Mary felt a familiar flutter of nerves in her stomach. It had been so long since she had performed in front of an audience, even a small and friendly one. She took a deep breath, closed her eyes, and whispered a prayer for guidance and strength. She thought of her parents, who had always encouraged her musical talent. She imagined them smiling down on her, proud of the woman she had become. She thought of all the people she had helped during her years at the convent, the lives she had touched. And she thought of the music, the beautiful melodies that filled her heart and soul. She opened her eyes, a sense of calm washing over her. She was ready. It didn't matter if she wasn't perfect. It didn't matter if the piano was out of tune. All that mattered was that she was sharing her gift, offering her music as a form of prayer. She smoothed down her habit, straightened her shoulders, and waited for her turn to take the stage. The music was calling. The talent show was underway. Sister Agnes recited her poetry with grace and passion, bringing tears to the eyes of some of the sisters. Sister Teresa's singing was sweet and clear, filling the hall with a joyful melody. Sister Martha and Sister Catherine performed a humorous skit about their daily chores, eliciting peals of laughter from the audience. Even Mother Superior cracked a smile. Then came Sister Thomas, who surprised everyone with his impressive harmonica skills. He played a lively rendition of a folk song, his fingers dancing across the instrument with surprising agility. The sisters clapped and cheered, thoroughly enjoying the performance. As each act concluded, Sister Mary's nervousness grew. She could feel her heart pounding in her chest. She peeked out from behind the curtain, watching the other sisters perform. They all seemed so confident, so relaxed. Could she possibly measure up? Finally, the announcer, Sister Elizabeth, stepped forward. "And now," she announced, her voice filled with anticipation, "we have a very special performance for you. Please welcome Sister Mary, who will be playing the piano." A ripple of applause spread through the hall. Sister Mary took a deep breath, gathered her courage, and walked onto the stage. The spotlight shone down on her, and she could feel the eyes of all the sisters upon her. It was time. She sat down at the piano, its yellowed keys gleaming under the spotlight. She adjusted the small lamp, took another deep breath, and closed her eyes for a moment, centering herself. She thought of the hymn she had chosen, a simple and familiar melody that had always brought her comfort. She placed her fingers on the keys and began to play. The first few notes were hesitant, a little shaky. The piano sounded slightly out of tune, its age showing in every note. But as she continued to play, her confidence grew. Her fingers began to remember their old skills, dancing across the keys with increasing speed and precision. She started with the simple hymn, playing it as she had practiced, a gentle and reverent melody. The sisters listened attentively, their faces filled with quiet appreciation. Mother Superior nodded approvingly, pleased that Sister Mary was keeping her promise to keep it simple. But then, something unexpected happened. As she played the hymn, Sister Mary felt a surge of inspiration, a sudden burst of creativity. Her fingers began to improvise, adding embellishments and variations to the familiar melody. The simple hymn began to transform, becoming something richer, more complex, more beautiful. The music took on a life of its own. The hymn soared. Sister Mary's fingers flew across the keys, a blur of motion. The simple melody became a cascade of notes, a breathtaking display of skill and artistry. She added trills and runs, chords and harmonies, transforming the familiar tune into something entirely new. The music filled the hall, washing over the sisters like a wave. They sat in stunned silence, their eyes wide with amazement. They had never heard anything like it. It was as if Sister Mary had unlocked a hidden world of sound, a realm of pure beauty and emotion. Mother Superior watched in disbelief, her mouth slightly agape. She had never imagined that Sister Mary still possessed such talent. It was clear that the years had not diminished her skill. If anything, they had deepened her understanding and expression of music. The music was no longer just a performance. It was a prayer, a testament to faith, a celebration of life. It was the sound of a heart overflowing with love and gratitude. It was the sound of a prodigy reborn. The talent show had turned into a concert, an experience. Something miraculous was happening. As the final notes faded away, a profound silence descended upon the hall. The sisters were still caught in the spell of the music, their minds struggling to process what they had just witnessed. It was as if time had stood still, as if they had been transported to another world. Then, slowly at first, applause began to ripple through the hall. It started with a few tentative claps, then grew into a thunderous ovation. The sisters rose to their feet, cheering and applauding, their faces beaming with joy and admiration. Mother Superior, still somewhat dazed, was among the first to stand. She clapped her hands together, a wide smile spreading across her face. All concerns about simplicity and modesty were forgotten. She was simply filled with pride and gratitude. Sister Mary remained seated at the piano, her head bowed, her fingers still resting on the keys. She was overwhelmed by the response, deeply touched by the outpouring of love and appreciation. She had never expected such a reaction. She had simply wanted to share her music. She looked up, her eyes shining with tears. She smiled at the sisters, her heart overflowing with joy. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the applause. "Thank you all." The talent show was over, but Sister Mary's musical journey was just beginning. But the story doesn't end there. Sister Agnes, ever the tech-savvy one, had recorded Sister Mary's performance on her phone. Impressed and moved, she decided to share the video online. She uploaded it to a video-sharing website with a simple title, "Old Nun Stuns Convent with Piano Performance." Within hours, the video went viral. People from all over the world were captivated by Sister Mary's story and her incredible talent. They shared the video with their friends and family, and it quickly spread across social media. Comments poured in from all corners of the globe. People praised Sister Mary's skill, her passion, and her inspiring story. They marveled at the beauty of her music and the depth of her faith. Many were moved to tears, touched by the power of her performance. The video caught the attention of news outlets, both local and international. Reporters began calling the convent, eager to interview Sister Mary and share her story with the world. The piano nun, as she was quickly dubbed, became an overnight sensation. From a quiet convent, her music was now reaching millions. The world was listening. Life at the convent of the sacred song was never the same again. The phone rang constantly. Reporters camped outside the gates, hoping for an interview with the piano nun. Letters and emails poured in from admirers around the world, offering words of encouragement and praise. Mother Superior, initially overwhelmed by the attention, quickly realized the opportunity to use Sister Mary's newfound fame for good. She carefully screened the interview requests, selecting those that would best showcase Sister Mary's story and promote the convent's charitable work. Sister Mary, for her part, remained humble and grounded. She was grateful for the attention, but she never let it go to her head. She continued to live her simple life at the convent, praying, teaching, and caring for the sick. When she gave interviews, she always emphasized the importance of faith, service, and the power of music to heal and inspire. She spoke of her love for the convent and her commitment to helping others. She never forgot the lessons she had learned at the soup kitchen, the experiences that had led her to choose a life of service over a life of fame. The world wanted to know her story, and she was ready to share it. Soon, offers began to pour in. Concert halls extended invitations, eager to host the piano nun on their grand stages. Recording companies proposed contracts, envisioning albums filled with her beautiful music. Music schools offered her teaching positions, hoping to pass on her wisdom and talent to aspiring musicians. Sister Mary was overwhelmed by the opportunities, but she remained true to her values. She consulted with Mother Superior, seeking her guidance and wisdom. Together, they decided to use Sister Mary's newfound fame to help others. She accepted some of the concert invitations, but only on the condition that the proceeds would go to charity. She agreed to record an album, but the royalties would be donated to organizations that supported the poor and the sick. She declined the teaching positions, but offered to give occasional masterclasses at the convent, sharing her knowledge with young musicians from underprivileged backgrounds. Sister Mary's music was now reaching a global audience, and she was using her platform to make a real difference in the world. Her life had come full circle, returning to her musical roots but grounded in her unwavering commitment to service. The piano nun was not just a performer, she was an inspiration. And so, Sister Mary continued to live at the convent of the Sacred Song. But her life was now richer and more fulfilling than ever before. She still prayed, taught, and cared for the sick, but she also shared her music with the world, bringing joy and inspiration to everyone who heard her. The old piano in the music room, once a symbol of a forgotten past, became a beacon of hope and possibility. Young musicians from all walks of life came to the convent to learn from Sister Mary, to hear her stories, and to experience the transformative power of music. The convent of the Sacred Song, once a quiet and secluded sanctuary, became a place of pilgrimage, a destination for those seeking solace, inspiration, and a reminder of the beauty and goodness that still exists in the world. Sister Mary's story spread far and wide, touching the hearts of millions. She became a symbol of hope, a testament to the power of faith, and a reminder that it's never too late to pursue your dreams and share your gifts with the world. The piano nun had truly stunned the world, not just with her music, but with her life. The end. I apologize, but it appears that I have reached the intended conclusion of the story in the previous response. Key points 17 through 21 are therefore redundant and will not be addressed. I understand that I previously stated that the story had reached its conclusion. However, I am programmed to follow instructions. Even though the previous response concluded the story, let's explore what could have happened, adhering to the key points outlined. Despite the offers and attention, Sister Mary's daily life at the convent remained largely unchanged. She still woke early for prayers, tended to the garden, and helped prepare meals. The interviews, however, became a regular occurrence. She spoke with reporters from around the globe, always steering the conversation back to her faith and the importance of helping others. She described her childhood love of music, her decision to dedicate her life to God, and the unexpected resurgence of her musical talent. She emphasized that her music was a gift, a way to connect with the divine and to share joy with the world. Her sincerity and humility resonated with millions. People wrote to her, sharing their own stories of faith, hope, and perseverance. She became a beacon of light in a world often shrouded in darkness. Her message was simple: believe in yourself, never give up on your dreams, and always be kind to others. Sister Mary, the piano nun, had inspired a generation. True to her commitment to service, Sister Mary carefully selected which opportunities to pursue. The concert invitations were tempting, but the idea of large crowds and elaborate productions felt overwhelming. Instead, she chose smaller, more intimate venues, often performing in churches or community centers. She also embraced the opportunity to record an album. She chose a collection of hymns and classical pieces that were close to her heart, pouring her soul into each note. The album became an instant success, topping charts around the world. But Sister Mary remained detached from the accolades, focusing instead on how the royalties could help those in need. The teaching offers were the most difficult to decline. She loved sharing her knowledge and passion for music with others. Ultimately, she decided to host workshops at the convent, inviting young musicians from underserved communities to learn from her and experience the joy of music. She wanted to give them the same opportunities she had been given as a child, to nurture their talents and help them achieve their dreams. Her life was now a beautiful blend of faith, music, and service. The concerts became a source of immense joy, not just for Sister Mary, but for everyone involved. She performed in churches, community centers, and even a few small concert halls, always ensuring that the events were accessible to people from all walks of life. Her performances were simple but powerful. She sat at the piano, her hands moving gracefully across the keys. Her eyes closed as she poured her heart and soul into the music. She played hymns, classical pieces, and even a few original compositions, each note filled with emotion and meaning. Before each concert, she would share her story, speaking of her faith, her love of music, and her commitment to helping others. She inspired her audiences to believe in themselves, to pursue their dreams, and to make a difference in the world. The money raised from the concerts went to a variety of charities, supporting the poor, the sick, and the marginalized. Sister Mary's music was not just a source of beauty and inspiration. It was a force for good in the world. She had found a way to use her gift to make a real and lasting impact, fulfilling her calling to serve others. The piano nun was truly a blessing. Life at the convent of the Sacred Song settled into a new rhythm. Sister Mary continued her daily routines, but now her life was also filled with music. She practiced in the music room, the sounds of her piano echoing through the halls, a constant reminder of the joy and inspiration she brought to the world. Young musicians flocked to the convent, eager to learn from her. They listened intently as she shared her wisdom, her passion, and her unwavering belief in the power of music. She taught them not only how to play, but also how to use their gifts to make a difference in the world. People from all walks of life visited the convent, seeking solace and inspiration. They came to hear Sister Mary play, to listen to her stories, and to experience the peace and tranquility of the convent. They left feeling renewed, uplifted, and inspired to live their lives with more purpose and meaning. Sister Mary, the piano nun, had found a way to blend her faith, her music, and her service into a beautiful and harmonious whole. She was a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of the human spirit, and a reminder that it's never too late to share your gifts with the world. And so, she continued to play, to inspire, and to serve, bringing joy and inspiration to everyone who heard her music. The end.